What is going on, PastaGamers, YouTubers, gamers out there? Uh, everybody out on the tube these days. Last week was the highly anticipated Walking Dead season 8 premiere, and unfortunately, it had the lowest rating in 5 years. And there was a lot of build up to season 8, season 7, and season 6 were much of a disappointment. Negan was brought in, and people were just not happy about the character because Negan just, I'm not sure. I haven't read the comics. I heard in the comics he's even more worse than what we've been sort of seeing him in the television series because obviously on AMC he can't swear as much as he's usually allowed to. He can't drop F bombs, and his level of violence has been reduced to a certain degree. So the character can't be as fleshed out as, let's say, the governor. The governor, which I found to be a far more interesting character than he is, because the governor actually did things. In my personal opinion, I found Negan, he's just been coming in, he swears, he gets other people to do his dirty work, and then he just kind of, walks away. I don't know if he's like that in the comic books. Maybe he is, but unfortunately, you know, season 8 started off with the lowest ratings. There was a lot of build up to it. They promised a lot of changes. As a long term Walking Dead fan, I wouldn't say I'm the most diehard, but as a long-term Walking Dead fan, I found season 8, the premiere episode, and I'm recording this just before the episode 2 comes on. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I'll probably see it tomorrow. Um, I thought that it wasn't bad. They did fix a lot of things, um, you know, but it still had some issues. We're not really getting the zombie action that we did back in the day. The zombies are just kind of um, they're moving the episodes forward, but they're not the plot point anymore. Um, I don't know how it is in the comics, but I'm just finding that the zombies come in for 2, 3 shots, and they do their business, they get killed, whatever. But there was a time where there was a lot of suspense and atmosphere with the zombies. You sort of expect the unexpected. And, that was one of the things that the series was getting really good at, especially the first 3 or 4 seasons. It was really, you got the expect the unexpected, and, the zombies would come, you wouldn't know when, and, you would genuinely be, in suspense. Oh, what's going to happen here? But the show isn't like that anymore. Even season 8, just the way Rick talked throughout the season, you knew what he was going to do. Um, you knew because for the last couple of months they've been talking about Rick having an all-out war with Negan. So there's no surprise here. I mean, it's fairly obvious. I mean, there's an issue with the show when um, Andrew Lincoln has come out and said he doesn't mind if Rick Grimes dies. Again, I don't know if he dies in the comics. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to read the comics, so I've just been part of watching the show. But the thing is, does that mean that he's lost faith in the TV series? I don't know. Has he lost faith in the Rick character? Um, it's possible. Maybe that's the reason why Rick isn't what he was when he first started. But now he's kind of got this new sort of take charge attitude, and it is a throwback to the beginning of the series, where he was taking charge. He's always taken charge, but there was a time for the last season and the season before he kind of just stood there and let things happen before he wouldn't. But this is stuff. His new sort of take charge attitude should have been more prominent in season 6 and 7. Now, it can't be overly done as well because he becomes a predictable character, but I just thought, um, he, uh, a lot of the stuff that he's doing now, he could have done a little bit before. and then calm down, but and then kind of again take charge, but he hasn't. And the series, as I said, um, it's predictable. The surprises and the drama has left the show. Fans, who are expecting the unexpected. I don't know how far ahead the season is compared to the books. I mean, they've taken some liberty to change some stuff, which they would always do. But fans, who are expecting the unexpected, the tense moments, the suspense, we didn't really get that in this, season 8 opener. We got some of it, but there wasn't much. Um, the one thing I could not stand was another betrayal. Xander Berkeley's character, who betrays Father Gabriel and jumps into the car. I mean, I thought when he started to run, um, I thought he was going to get killed. I mean, I honestly thought when they were the two of them were last left and they were, when he takes off and you hear the bullets everywhere, I thought he was going to get killed. It would have been good because his character is really he's deceitful, but he's not serving a purpose anymore. And that's the thing. That's what a lot of characters are. They're not really serving a purpose anymore. Even the zombies aren't really serving a purpose if you look at it. But he's 1 minute he's working with Rick and his group, and then the next minute he's turning their back on them, and then the next minute he's working with them. And every episode, you know, has to have some sort of betrayal or something. It gets ridiculous. It gets predictable. And the same thing with Negan. He's become, he needs to die. I mean, we know he's gonna die. The character is gonna die. I kind of read about how he dies. I don't want to, um, you know, spoil it if some of you don't know. But Negan needs to die because simply for the fact that he's not it's not because he's not the same as he is in the comics. He's somewhat close, but obviously Jeffrey Dean Morgan isn't going to go out and gain 30 pounds of muscle because Negan is apparently very muscular. And again, he can't drop f-bombs. He can say shit on AMC, and AMC has been letting him say the word shit as many times as he wants, and other characters too. But the f-bombs and everything are completely off. But his character has just become mundane. There was this build up, and then he comes, and then I remember the season closer where the season 6 closer where he goes to hit somebody from the group, and they cut it off, they moved away, and we were kept in suspense for all these months, and people thought that was really low blow. And that's how all the couple of last seasons have been ending, you know sort of this to be continued. Uh, and fans didn't like this. They don't have to spoil everything, but it to keep the people in suspense and to think, oh, because we can do it and we can get away with it. It's not really, you're not drawing in um, the fan base. And I think the fan base knows what's going to happen in every episode now, pretty much before it even airs. And, they've kind of clued in. So we know that Rick is going to go to war with Negan. And it's pretty obvious. Now, there's the old Rick. I'm not sure what that subplot is about. Um, so I don't know if that's in the comics or not, or if they just threw that in. I don't know. It's interesting. Um, I don't know if it takes place a couple of years after, or a couple of months, or what's going on. And there was these scenes where Ricky's just sitting there and he's looking around all over the place, here, there, and he was by himself. And again, the cheese, it's cheese. The staring at the two graveyards, the two little grave that they dug into the floor with no names put up, no signs to indicate who it is. Again, you're repeating everything. You've been repeating this stuff over and over and over. Despite the fact that the producers know that the show's ratings have gone down, despite the fact that they know the fans are not pleased, despite the fact that Greg Nicotero has said himself, I don't know why the fans have been disappointed. But you're creating disappointments continuously. And that's the big issue. That's the big issue is that they know about this stuff and it sounds like 1 minute, oh, they're going to do something about it, but they don't. And, the question is, I mean, are you ever going to? Are you ever going to give us a season where everything we've expected is never going to happen and it's going to be something completely unexpected? I don't know. Probably not. Unless Rick dies or another major character dies mid-season that we weren't expecting. Um, so I mean, uh, Carl, he was um, he was okay, but his characters become kind of two-dimensional, um, and he's just the same. He's sort of like this grumpy, mundane character all the time now. He's grouchy. Sometimes he's okay, but he's not the interesting character that we met up with. And Father Gabriel, who's been, betraying the group on and off continuously. I'm surprised he's not dead. And he should have been. I mean, I'm trying to determine. It sounds like the fan theory and the internet theory is that he's betraying the group again because he's in cahoots with Negan when he sees Negan at the end, and he then shoots them when he shoots them when they're inside the trailer, and Negan says, I hope you got your shitting pants on because you're gonna shit yourself, and forget the fact that he's a priest because he's already killed. So I mean, there are some interesting characters on the show, but everything is starting to become repetitive. And I mean, we've gotten some new characters brought in, Jesus and so on, and they're interesting. But it's I don't know. I don't know if I think they're aware that the show, isn't doing as well as they think. But it's become formulaic. And they're using the same formula over and over and over and over again, despite the fact that they know, uh, you know, they shouldn't be doing this. But it's 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 gotten repetitive. I mean, and there were some absurd subplots. I mean, that whole subplot with the watermelon last season. The one missing watermelon, which you know everybody was having a shit over just a stupid watermelon. I don't know if that was in the comics or not, but to me, it was just it was a little bit ridiculous. I don't think people are going to, um, have such a big ordeal, big issue just because of the fact of one watermelon. I don't know. This is the world of Walking Dead. I mean, you're in a dystopian world where everything counts. But it's I will say that this episode show opener is better. It's probably better than what we got pretty much for the entire seventh season. We don't have gloomy Rick, gloomy characters, but already the same formulaic stuff is just coming back very quickly. So um, it will be very interesting, what they decide to do. If they really make some surprises. I can't see this show going much longer either. I mean, we're already at season 7, um, and maybe another season or two. I don't know. You're the fans, and they've listened to you in some way. We're all fans, and they've listened to us in some way. But it's they haven't listened enough. But let's see what season 8 brings. But I am not surprised. I am not surprised that they've already they've got the lowest opener because people just kind of expected, they knew from afar away what was going to happen in this show. So, but thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Always looking forward to your feedback. I know this is something a little bit different. You guys were expecting maybe something game related, but I guess being YouTube and we're here to express ourselves, it's sometimes better to just talk about as other stuff too. I don't just game all the time. There's other things I do in my life. So, but thanks for taking the time to listen to me. Any diehard Walking Dead fans, please by all means, uh, give me your opinion. Let me know if I touched on things that are correct. Let me know I've touched on stuff that's way off. But let's see what happens in season 8. Until then, thanks for watching. Have a great day.